Back when I lived deep in the city, I loved running around naked in the dark. Nothing I tried was better than the feeling of cold, fresh air against my bare skin. Sure, I drew some scrutinizing stares, but only at a couple pit stops, so I could handle it. Well, I don't run anymore. The reason I don't do this anymore is due to one very fingernail-chilling experience. It was around 1 o'clock at night. I couldn't remember where I had left my clothes. Suddenly, my stomach started to ache. Using my location memorizing skills, I traversed to the closest McDonald's. When I got to the McDonald's, I saw that even though this place was empty, there was a 24/7 light sign, and the light was on. I tried the door. It was unlocked. Suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed that it wasn't as empty as I thought it was. A tall, dark figure, wearing all black, stood there and smiled. I tried not to pay attention to it. Suddenly, out of the corner of my other eye, I noticed that the entry door had a new figure standing there. I decided to take my chances and walk towards the first figure. "Hello? May I take your order?" The tall McDonald's employee said. His name tag stated that his name was Gerald. I looked over to the menu to see a bunch of things I didn't like. Until... "I'll take the 6-pack of McNuggets, please." The figure pressed a couple of buttons, then smiled at me expectantly. "What?" "Well, sir, I'm afraid if you have to pay the price of the McNuggets." I made a noise. "So?" "You got the cash?" Suddenly, I felt something scratch the inside of my throat. Sputtering and wheezing, I pull out my Visa. That isn't supposed to be there, I thought to the guy next to me. We shrugged it off, chalking it up to mere coincidence. I swiped the card. The receipt machine made a bzzzt noise as it printed out my receipt. "Thanks, sir. Take the receipt. Please come collect your McNuggets when the screen shows your number." I took a seat. Suddenly I realized that not only had the room filled with beings, but that they were all staring straight at me in silence. I tried as hard as I could to ignore them until my number popped up. I walked up to collect my chicken McNuggets and speed walked out of the building. I don't know, I just had this uneasy feeling with all those people looking at me, and I wanted out. By the time I got to a park to eat the chicken McNuggets, it was already 2:17 a.m. I sat down on the bench in front of the river. I took out the box. All seemed to be normal. What happened next sent chills down my spine. As I lifted the lid, I could already sense something wrong. The box was around 15% heavier than usual. I looked over at the park clock, 2:48. Had that really taken that long to do? How would it look to outsiders? Finally, I lifted the lid, and I nearly dropped the box in horror. 7 chicken nuggets lay in the box. There were 7 nuggets, even though clearly a 6-pack of nuggets was standing in front of me. I checked the lid label, the side lettering, and the bag. None of them had any reasons why an extra nugget will be in my box. That's the moment I realized that this could only have been the work of an enemy stand. I put the chicken McNuggets into my flesh sack and quickly started work. My stand, naked and famous, scanned the surrounding area for living flesh. My heart dropped as I came upon 3 whole groupings of flesh hiding in a bush to my left. I knew that they had definitely seen my stand. I was beyond defenseless. What could their powers have been? I heard a voice whispering phrases I wished no one to hear. It said, "Yare yare daze." An unscanned foe? I whipped my head around to meet a 30-or-so-year-old Japanese man. He pointed towards me, cap in his face. "Watashi wa anata ga anata no sutando o hikadasu no io mita. Inchi o idou shite, watashi wa anata o commission kara panshi shimasu." I snapped out of my trance. Shine! Kura 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 kura! He blocked each and every punch. After this, Jotaro Kujo and I became friends, but this PTSD, this traumatic moment, could never escape my mind. This is the reason I don't eat chicken nuggets at 2:48 a.m.